there is this new tool that we have called MyGlobal, and I say it's new because we've only started using it within the past 5 or 6 months. So, and we actually still have missionaries that are not connected to it. We've tried to get that message out there, but it's a slow thing because it's a cultural change for us. So, it is a online web portal that we've created, and it's basically an intranet within our web page. So, what I'm going to do to begin with is walk you through a little bit of that and give you a little bit of background. I'm going to try to share my screen and see if I can make this work right. So hopefully you should be able to see the Global Outreach screen. Does that look right?
Looks great.
Awesome, good. If you have any questions along the way, please just shout out. I'm very informal, and feel free to ask questions. Some of these specific things may apply to you, they may not, but I want to give you an overall feel for the site and where you can find some different things. So first of all, to access MyGlobal, you would go to globaloutreach.org, which is our organization's site, and you would create a login, or you would access through this login here. And then you would see MyGlobal pop up in your header up here. So we're going to click on MyGlobal and go to the home page for MyGlobal. So access to MyGlobal is not automatic. You do have to get set up with MyGlobal. And to do that, you're going to contact Blake, my partner over here, and he'll give you his email again a couple of times, but it's bwages, WAGES, at globaloutreach.org. bwages@globaloutreach.org. And when you email him, you can tell him I want to get set up with MyGlobal, and he'll be happy to help you with that. So it's pretty painless. We try to make it painless. So as we look at this, we have MyGlobal. This is our missionary resource guide. Like I said, this is still new. It's still in development. So this would be something so helpful for myself and for Blake as you continue through MOT and you continue through the post process, and as you become missionaries on the field, utilize this resource. And if you come across things that are, you could do that better, Marshall, or maybe this would be better if it was added, Blake, let us know that feedback, because we are still learning. We have a vision of what we think might be really helpful. That doesn't mean that is the best version of what might be helpful for a missionary on the field. So we're seeking feedback on some of that. At the top, we have some pages. We have news. We have a contacts page, which is very helpful. We have FAQs, which is frequently asked questions, which is very helpful. We have a videos section, and then we have a link to Donor Hub. And down here we have some buttons. This first button goes to Focus Point, which is our crisis management partner. And I'm actually going to be leading a section next week that's going to be talking about Focus Point. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time there, but there is a link here to take you to that. Retirement is one of our, takes you to a website that does all of our retirement. IMG is our insurance for international missionaries, and there are certain things that you have to do to be eligible for insurance. Missio Nexus is something that is available to all of our missionaries, and all you have to do is register for that. And Missio Nexus is a wonderful organization that I'll take just a second to describe. They are basically a cohort, or they're a group that has tons of missions organizations in their organization, and they have resources on every imaginable missions related topic. They have groups that you can join and be a part of that are online. They do conferences, some in person, some online, just lots and lots of resources that you can research and be a part of. Since My Global is somewhat new, there is a welcome video by our CEO, John Darnell himself. And so that's kind of fun to watch. And here we are working on getting dates. We want to have a place that missionaries can come and look for things that are upcoming. One of our problems is COVID has turned most of our events into non-events. So right now we don't have a ton of things that we're promoting. Below that, we have a link to the news page with some slides, and we have quick links. These are things that we think you might access pretty frequently. Links to our missionary care team, insurance frequently asked questions, quarterly report submission, being able to update your contact information. And then this will be extremely important for you guys, post-MOT updates. So Becky will talk to you a little bit more about what is the post-MOT update. I'll leave it alone there, but that's where you're going to access that format. And then there's a welcome video about the Darnells. They're on here twice. Emily, what's up with that? Y'all are just too cool. They're on here twice. This tells a little bit more about their family and John's vision for global, and is really cool if you take a few minutes to watch that. And we can get you signed up for My Global today. You can contact Blake, and within a day or two, he can get you signed up with My Global. So let's click on a couple of pages, take a look at that. On this news page, it's kind of like our internal blog. We have some stories, some news announcements that are relevant. Each month, our operations team sends out a newsletter to all of our missionaries that has articles and information in it. And we archive those on this page. So you can go back and look at the January Home Office Connection and see what we talked about in January. So that's a place that they're archived. The contacts page is very helpful, especially when there are a lot of new names to learn. And this will tell you a little bit about our organizational chart, which you can click here and you can see that. But as we scroll down the list, you see who our senior leadership team is. That's John, Charlene, Marla, and Greg, so the CEO and our vice presidents. And Maria Gino, as the executive assistant, supports the SLT.
Hey, Marshall, why don't you click on the chart? Because I think that's a really helpful visual if you're going to go down the list.
Sure. So this is our chart here. I don't know if it's, can y'all see that? Did it share?
No.
Yeah. It opened in another window.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah. The chart opens up in a PDF and it lays it out by just by section, which matches this list here. But it is a super helpful visual way of looking at our organization. We're actually a really small home office group, which is good in a lot of ways. It helps us to know each other better and helps us to facilitate information better. The operations team led by Charlene. We have Bob, myself, Emily, and Becky. And it tells over here what some of our responsibilities are and how to get in touch with us. It does the same thing for finance. So everybody wants to take note of this particular email address right here, Marla Nunley. She is our VP of Finance, and she answers a lot of finance questions and helps with a lot of things there. So Evelyn does a lot of work with our donors, and Shasta and Vanita help with accounts payable and accounts receivable. So lots of good stuff there. Marketing and development, Greg, Blake, and Allie are really helpful there in helping to craft messages and work with different communications. Our missionary care team is listed out here. So we have missionaries around the world who have been with Global for a long period of time. And we have them in different roles where they can be of assistance to you through prayer, through helping through crisis, times of crisis, helping through, we have Misty and Sharon who help through different types of trauma healing and counseling.
And Marshall, Bob is going to break this list apart next week for all our candidates to explain what all these people do.
That's good, because it really is a lot to take in. So you can look and see who would represent you in your area. So that's really good. I'm glad that Bob will have that opportunity to break that apart. Our next section is our FAQs, our frequently asked questions. There are questions related to different subjects here at the top. So we have crisis management, missionary care, missionary budgets, retirement, insurance, finance, donor management, and missionary furlough. So just for instance, looking at finance, this will tell you a little bit of information about your budgets, how to submit budgets, where you submit those to, what your deadlines are. And it also includes questions about when deposits are made for salary for missionaries, and maybe some ways that you can troubleshoot problems that you're having as well. There's the same thing for missionary insurance. It goes from how to enroll down to who is covered and who's eligible and how to file a claim. So lots of specific questions that we get asked quite frequently. So we try to steer everyone to this page first, because unlike our office, this page is open 24/7, 7 days a week. So even if our office is closed, you can still get to this website, and it answers a lot of those types of questions. Our videos are, some of them will look familiar to you because they are some of your MOP videos that you've watched through getting ready for MOT. So we have decided to store some of these here so that missionaries on the field can go back and revisit some of these topics, because sometimes it's easy to forget the things that you learn in MOT because you have such a large amount of information that comes at you really quickly. Sometimes it's hard to remember that. So we're trying to create a space where you have all of your information in one specific place. And we're still working on that. It's not perfect yet, but we're still working on that. And we have also created some other communication areas that Blake's going to share with you, and that you're already a part of, like the Facebook group. That's a new group for MOT candidates that we've put together. Donor Hub, Blake's going to talk about a little bit, but Donor Hub has a link on here, and this is where you can look at a lot of your financial information. And he's going to go into that just a little bit more. So My Global is a work in progress, and it is something that we're seeking more feedback on. We definitely would like to have your ideas about what we could add or improve. So yeah, there's different things that we've added there, and it's really all about communication, because we want to be able to make sure that as many of us that can be on the same page as we can. That's a really good thing, to understand that what we're all working towards, because as global missionaries, we all have our own individual ministries, but we're all representing global outreach, and we all have the same overarching mission. And being able to be on the same page and know that we're a part of one great missions family is really important. And we're hoping that over time, the My Global area of our website will be a place that can help us to celebrate that great missions family. So still a lot of ways to grow, and I only say that because I really do want your feedback. So if you have feedback, if there's things that you think we can add, I encourage you to email myself or Blake. And if you don't remember our email addresses, you can go to the contacts page and they're right there, because it's really easy to find, or I hope it is. So what kind of questions do you have, or even just initial thoughts about this My Global page? What do you think?
I have one quick question. If I already have my Donor Hub password and email, is it the same for My Global, or do I need to have Blake set up a new one?
It's not the same automatically. What you can do in your email is let Blake know that you already have a Donor Hub account, and typically I'm looking at him now to verify, but I think he tries to set those to be the same thing, if that's what you would like.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. He said it might be a little different, but he'll answer that question again. But yeah, email Blake and he'll get you set up, but it's not automatically the same thing. Good question.
I would say the Donor Hub is something you're going to explain to us later. Now is more to the portal, but is that you're going to explain later, or can I ask about Donor Hub now?
Blake's going to go over Donor Hub in just a second. But you will access Donor Hub by going through the My Global portal. You'll find that link there.
Yeah, because then that's the way we're going to kind of follow up with our donations and stuff like that, right?
Very good. That's exactly right. You'll be able to see all of the donations that are coming in and all of the expenses that are going out. So
Good.
you'll be able to keep track. It's a very good tool.